Hey, what's up, everyone? Sean here with BlueRidgeSilverhound. Hope everyone's having a great start to your Monday. And as you would expect, we have the Monday market report for the week ending March 20th, 2022. We have a pretty stacked lineup of post 1900 modern graded coins that we're going to talk about. In addition, what I haven't really talked in depth about in the past when it came to these Monday market reports is the idea of what they call circulation rarity, all right, or conditioned rarity is another way of putting it. A couple different ways of kind of talking about coins that I think in the marketplace, people have figured out that these coins are a lot more tougher to find in any grade than you would imagine. And we're going to talk about a lot about why some of the most unspectacular grades of coins end up selling for many thousands of dollars. All right, this is something that maybe you guys need to know a little bit about, so that way when you're out hunting around for some of these coins that you can possibly send off to PCGS or NGC, you'll hit the ground running with some really good kind of I don't know if it's going to be underappreciated, but undersearched might be the more appropriate term to kind of discuss these conditional rarity coins. So you guys surely won't want to miss. I might do another follow-up video just talking about these particular the coins in general. But we have a pretty nice group of coins, all from greatcollections.com. Of course, they do a fantastic job really cranking out some high quality pieces. A lot of what you'll find being sold by Great Collections is going to be graded. They prefer to have their coins graded, and if you have a collection that you want to consign, there's no better place to go than Great Collections. They can get your coins graded. They have a really nice, very pleasant interaction. If you call them up, they'd be more than happy to give you however much time you need to consult about your collection. And then, you could go from there. But they can inject your coins into the marketplace as quickly as 2 weeks. So that is fantastic. And they are, again, an auction house that I believe in, that I use personally mostly to buy coins from. Again, that's also the next part of it. If you're looking for some really nice pieces to add to your collection and to really make a centerpiece, Great Collections definitely has the goods for you. All right, so again, thank you guys for joining in on this video. Let's see what the market is all about here, coming toward the tail end of the month of March. And we're going to start it off with a few very delectable Lincoln cents, both proof strikes. So you guys are going to believe that these particular coins are sitting firmly at the top spot of this week's Monday market report for a good reason. We have a 1978S Lincoln Memorial cent. This one right here, as you would guess, features probably some of the cleanest, strongest cameo frosting that you will find, bar none, out of this era of coins. This one right here is a PCGS Proof 70. You can't get any better than that for sure, because that's the top grade. And you see DCAM as well, so that's a deep cameo coin. Some of that heavy, very light frosting offset by just dark black mirrory fields. It's the best of both worlds. So what does a coin of perfection sell for this somewhat underrated date? Well, this one right here is sold for $3,206.25. So that's a pretty good chunk of money. But if you think this one is pretty good, how about this 1970S Lincoln Memorial? Now, we're a little bit older by about 8 years, but keep in mind, this is a coin right here that is very obtainable in proof sets. All it takes is some diligent looking, and you might be able to find one. Now, there's a few things going on with this coin that that you need to be aware of. Number one, it's a small date. All right, it's a small date 1970S proof Lincoln. Furthermore, it's also got really nice, strong cameo frosting. This one right here is a proof 69 red deep cameo. As you can see, it's a small date right on the slab label. This has everything that you want from a coin of this caliber. And keep in mind, it's not a perfect grade. It's 1 point shy of that, but proof coins are generally very well struck, they are the highest quality product that you could expect the mint to crank out. So finding any coin of this particular era and generation that grades above a 67 can be a little bit of a chore, but also finding one with that really nice frosting on there as well. This one ended up selling for $9,281.25, and this is our profile coin of the week. Again, another high grade, high price coin that set new boundaries. So if you guys are looking to find something that you could possibly cash in on, some of these 1970s Lincolns have been a little bit of a target lately. All right, coming up here on the 51S, very nice, very well struck coin, great luster. As you would imagine, this one is here firmly for a registry set, and that's kind of like the big target for these very common high-grade coins. This one right here is a PCGS Mid-State 67 Plus full red example, and compounded by all that, it's also CAC certified as well. So you got a lot of good things here about a coin that is honestly going to end up in a registry set. Again, Denver and San Francisco minted coins of the 50s are not particularly rare to find in grades above Mid-State 66. Again, if you have access to BU inventory, whether it's rolls or bags or things of that nature, it could be a pretty nice treasure hunt. This one right here sold for $1,243.12. Now, talking about conditional rarity, we have our first coin here that really kind of fits that mold. It's a 1925S Lincoln wheat set. Now, what makes this a conditional rarity? Well, you kind of have to put yourself in that time period. 1920s, what happened there? Great Depression. A lot of people were out of work. A lot of people were spending their money. Nobody really saved these coins as they were being produced. And to make matters worse, quality was really in the tanker at this point. All right, there was a lot of weak strikes. 1925S, by the way, is one of those kind of like benchmark pieces where they're hit or miss. You can find an example that looks really good on the front, but when you look at the reverse, it could look like dog meat. Lots of weak strikes, a lot of die deterioration happened during this time, but most importantly, none of these were ever preserved at their highest quality. So finding one that grades out at a full red is a scarcity. All right, they're damn near impossible to find in full red. You see a lot of browns, you see a few red browns, but full reds, and especially a Mid-State 65, that's quite a tough one to wrap your brain around, I'm sure. So this one right here, no doubt about it, is just a huge target for any particular application of collecting, investing, registry set, you name it. This one has it all, and the price shows. It sold for $30,375. I haven't seen a coin quite like this in some time, since probably the beginning of the Monday Market Report series of videos. So finding one finally to drop at a full red. Again, these are coins, ladies and gentlemen, that are best reserved for some of the big mega auctions. Your Long Beach sale, your Florida Fun, your World's Fair of Money, the one that comes out of Chicago every year. I mean, these are like high-profile marquee coins and great collections. Had one available for sale. $30,000 is a lot of money, but it's well worth it for this coin. And the final 1 cent piece on this week's report is going to be one that you probably don't see a whole lot of, but it's a 1902 Indian head cent. Now, make no mistake, this is a very populous date. All right, quite a few of these were produced. However, going back to the conditional rarity conversation, very few of these were actually saved. A lot of coins from the first, I would say, 30 years of the 1900s were spent and abused. All right, and Indian head cents were not immune to it. A lot of these were spent. Very few of them were hoarded in this condition. Now, this one right here is a Mid-State 66 full red. Again, we have another beastly grade here with a full red designation. It's pretty. All right, I can imagine this coin looks as better in person than it does on screen. This one right here ended up selling for $2,194. I think the only thing missing here that would set this one a lot higher is that CAC sticker. But maybe because there's a few carbon spots on the coin, that might disqualify that. I don't know. But yeah, that would just make it quite a bit more perfect than what it already is. All right, we're finally on to nickels, and we do have one Jefferson to speak of, and it's a good one. 1945S. This is, of course, the silver wartime era of nickels. So these have a popularity all on its own. People like them because they are a very short series of a completely different composition. When you throw silver out there, that's like one of those keywords that people like to hear for collectability. This one right here. Mid-State 67 with 5 full steps. Okay, so it's pretty good on the steps part of it. A lot of these do come up relatively well struck. Silver wartime nickels, that is. So finding one with, fully featured steps isn't as tough of a chore as you think it is. Now, it is a San Francisco. It's a little bit tougher. And this one right here obviously would end up in a registry set. This one sold for what I consider to be a very inexpensive $1,125. Again, NGC graded with 5 full steps. Certainly a really nice grade. Now, a lot of the nickels that you're going to see to kind of round out the bunch here are buffaloes. Okay, we have a 1938. This is one of my favorite varieties. This is the D over D repunch mint mark. It's RPM number 2, by the way. This one right here is a really nice PCGS Mid-State 67 Plus. All right, this is a high-end beast of a coin. More than likely, this will end up in a registry set, but you're also going to have the non-registry Buffalo nickel collections that'll want something like this. Some of the biggest high-profile Buffalo nickel collections aren't necessarily registry sets, so a lot of those are off-market. They're off of the radar, and something like this would certainly get picked up. We do see a lot more overmint marks, the D over S's, enter the marketplace, but a really nice high-profile RPM like this, it comes up so infrequently. This one right here ended up selling for $2,432.25. Just a gem of a coin, one that one day maybe I'll find and have come back as 67 plus as well. Certainly something that's achievable considering the survival rate of mid-state 38Ds. A lot of these were hoarded in BU rolls during its time. Now we're getting a little bit tougher. Now we have a 29D. Again, this is like saddled right in the middle of that Great Depression era. 29D right here, you can tell also. It doesn't have the best strike, but the luster is good. It's a PCGS Mid-State 66. Also CAC certified. Again, this is probably more of a registry set included piece, given its date. I would say it's not a rare date, but at a specific grade level, they can be. This one ended up selling for $4,375.12. Again, the Buffalo nickel crowd, they are pouring and dumping a lot of money into the series. So when a really nice piece comes to the marketplace, you better believe that people are going to pay attention. Now, this is more indicative of the Great Depression era of coins. 1927D, as you can tell, it's lifeless. It has no luster. They're not all like that, but a lot of the mid-20s Buffaloes, when they were minted back in the day, really didn't show too much character. This one right here has kind of what I would like to say has that old archival skin to it, just a really even solid toning on there. It's a love it or hate it thing. Some people would say, well, I like my coins blast white. I'm not disagreeing with you. I think those have their place in numismatics. I think they're pretty. But again, we're talking about a very difficult decade right here. A PCGS Mid-State 65. It's nothing to really shy away from. And this one ended up selling for $2,930.62. And then finally, we have this bad boy here. Kind of put and lump this one into the conversation of some of those 19-teens D and S Lincolns. They're really tough to find because a lot of them were used. This one right here is a PCGS Mid-State 64. Again, we'll fill the gap in any sort of numismatic application out there. CAC certified as well, which is a nice huge bonus because the buyer of such a coin wouldn't need to submit it to that certification service. and they would save some money. This one right here sold for $2,037.38. And then, a strange twist of fate, we actually have a Liberty V nickel. All right, how about the first date of a nickel to feature a mint mark on there? A 1912D Liberty V nickel right here is a stunner. All right, this one has the mint mark, of course, underneath the dot here to the left of the word cents. This one right here is a more achievable, obtainable coin. Maybe not so much in a mid-state 66 plus. More so than trying to eke out a 1912S, which also is out there, but it is a relatively much more scarcer coin, and a lot of them are in much lower grades. So finding something like this could be a nice erstwhile bonus. If you're not looking to spend 10 grand or more for a 12S in the same grade, how about this one? This one ended up hammering for $3,774.38. Again, not for the faint of heart. These are the type of coins that end up going into collections, and they just sit there. Another beauty from great collections. Now we're on to dimes. We have a few of them. How about 69D? Now this one right here, I will let you guys know, is not a very well-struck coin. However, what it lacks in the strike department, it more than makes up in the overall just cleanliness of the coin. You don't see too many marks on this one. At a mid-state 68, you kind of expect it, right? Now, it doesn't have a full strike, therefore no full torch, no full bands, nothing like that. But a 69D, these are available at very nice high grades. It's easy to find mid-state 66 level raw examples of a 69D, but when you get up to this level, it's in a category all on its own. This one ended up selling for $675. Yeah, it's not a high grade, high price bomb, but at least you guys know where these things stand even without the full bands. Now, speaking of full bands, we have a number of really nice Mercury Dimes showcased here. They're all, I would say, quite approachable, with the exception of maybe one of them. How about 44? This is one of the more easier grades, or dates to find, rather, in full bands. Anything Philadelphia during the 40s are very well struck for the Mercury Dimes. Now, this one here is a 67 full bands, CAC certified as well, which is, I suspect, adds a little bit extra value to this coin because it is certified. This one right here sold for $2,081.25. And here's a 1940 as well. Not a rarity, again. Same with the 44. This is about as easy to find as that coin. However, this one is a grade point higher at a 68 full bands. This one has registry set written and just plastered all over it. I wouldn't personally invest in a coin like this, even though it is a 68. It is beautiful, don't get me wrong. But this one right here realized $2,567.25. And here's a 39, again, a very obtainable coin. If you're looking for a mid-state version of this raw, this is one right here that you could eke out someplace with a little bit of searching. This is a mid-state 67 full bands, however, so it's very much high atop the registry set want list, CAC certified as well. And this one sold for $2,307.38. Now, this one's a little bit more tougher, okay? I always throw in a little bit of a caveat coin. This is one of them here. 35D. Now, the Denver mint mark makes this one a lot more scarcer than it actually is when it comes to full strike and finding one with full bands. This is a PCGS mid-state 67 full bands coin. You can see just really amazing splits on all the bands on the reverse. It's also CAC certified, so someone definitely took their time and got these cross-certified with CAC. This one sold for $3,375, and it's worth every penny. All right, so we do have a few Washington quarters, and the thing you got to know about these is that they're not particularly rare. All right, all the dates that you find here, with the exception of the last couple, are very obtainable raw. If you're looking for a raw mint-state example, okay, these are out there. Now, a lot of these coins feature toning that I think were discovered back in the 80s and 90s. through old archival, or not archival, but non-archival albums. All right, a lot of them were not acid-free or anything like that, so there was a lot of strange toning going on, and people like these. They're not necessarily disappearing off the market because people are still finding these to this day. Here's a 64D. It's the last day of the silver generation of coins. This one, however, is a PCGS Mid-State 67 Plus. Take a look at the toning. Make your judgment on whether you like it or not, because if you don't like it, but yet you have things like this, there is some opportunity to cash in here. Now, this one right here with the toning, again, not a beast of a coin on its date and grade. There are plenty of 67 pluses without the toning that can be had out there. This one, however, ended up selling for $1,068.75. And here's another common date as well, 56. Not particularly hard to find in high grades. However, this one right here gets extra bonus points on original color alone. All right. Now, it's a nice, very pastel-y level of coin or toning that we have here. It's also CAC certified, so it's got some extra bonus points there. This one ended up selling for $1,512. Again, these are coins that realistically can be found out there, whether cherry picking through coin dealer inventory or a show, or maybe you have an old collection that you're aware of. These are still out there. Here's a 51S. I would say this is kind of like where it begins to get a little bit tougher, but still, take a look at this. It's got the original skin on there. My least favorite. It's very dark, if not close to being terminal on the reverse. It's an NGC Mid-State 68. It's also CAC certified. It's a really high grade example. This one sold for $1,968.75. There's a 37S. Now, this one is a lot tougher. So any Denver or San Francisco coin from the 30s definitely are a lot more collected based off of that and less about the overall appearance of the coin. Now, this one just so happened to have some toning on there. Again, a little bit dark for my personal taste, but, when you have this level of toning on here, there was a lot to say about their originality. It wasn't dipped, it wasn't played with, nothing like that. It is a Mid-State 67, again, another CAC level coin. This one sold for $1,743.75. And then finally, the last, what I call condition rarity coin out there is this low-grade 1913S Barber quarter. Who would have thought that something like this would even make it on the list, right? Some would say that coins of the 19-teens for the Barbers are so available that you could find them in silver melt stock. Well, if you can, there's a few dates that are quite rare, quite scarce. And regardless of grade, it's a coin that you definitely want to cherry pick. And I've successfully cherry picked this particular date about 15 years ago out of bulk silver. And I didn't sell for nearly as much as what this one sold for, but it was a pretty good sale. It helped me out during those times. 1913S Barber quarter, not a common date at all. It's also CAC certified. Check that out. It's a VG10 through PCGS. And you guys aren't going to believe that this one did sell for $4,050. Again, it's a true scarcity play here. That's what really drove the price of this one. And it's a very honest circulated coin with no problems whatsoever. Just a coin that a lot of people have overlooked, I'm sure, at some point in the past. But that's going to go ahead and do it for this list. A very large list, 21 coins altogether. I'm your host, Sean, with BlueRidgeSilverhound. Again, we have our live coin Q&A live stream tonight, our last one before we have a bye week. So I personally invite you guys to check that out on that channel. We will be going live at 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern. We got a really nice group of coins to discuss with you, along with some other stuff. But that's going to go ahead and do it. As always, you guys know the drill. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this video. And stay real, my friends. You guys are awesome. Thank you for all your support over the last 11, 12 years of being on YouTube. It sure does matter. It matters to me a lot. That's why I have the drive to continuously pump out more videos. Stay tuned. Here in the next day or so, I'm going to do a video specifically on conditional rarities. you guys surely won't want to miss. It's going to be another great video in your guys' educational progression. The more you learn about these things, the more that you'll discover. And then when you discover, you really have a lot more appreciation for the hobby than I do. So that's going to go ahead and do it, my Coinaholics. We are discovering together. You guys have a wonderful Monday. Don't work so hard. And I'll see you on the next coin video. So long.